The morning bus heaved to a stop with a metallic groan, the kind that made everyone already inside look irritated, as if another passenger meant another burden. Daniel stepped up, holding his sleepy 6-year-old daughter Mia by the hand. It was barely sunrise, and the world outside still yawned with fog and cold. He gave her a gentle nudge. "Go on, sweetheart, find a seat." Mia blinked, rubbing her eyes as she looked around. Her pigtails bounced with each step she took down the aisle. She was tiny, innocent, still too new to the world's sharp edges. Daniel watched her walk with that brave, clumsy confidence only children have. Then she stopped. It was sudden, the kind of pause that makes a parent straighten instinctively. Mia's gaze had locked on someone, a girl, maybe 10 years old, pale, thin, wearing a faded blue jacket that looked a size too big. But it wasn't the jacket that caught attention. Her left pant leg was neatly rolled and pinned. Where her leg should have been, there was none. The girl sat pressed against the window, as if trying to shrink into the glass. She held her backpack tight to her chest, like a shield. The kids around her stole quick glances, whispering, ignoring her, creating that invisible circle that isolates some children without a single rude word. But no one sat next to her, not one person. Daniel felt his chest tighten. He had seen that expression before, that empty, practiced stare of someone who has learned not to expect kindness. Mia tugged his sleeve gently. "Daddy," she whispered, "why is she sitting alone?" Daniel knelt beside her. "Sometimes," he said softly, "people feel left out because others think being different is something strange." Mia frowned, her small brows knitting together. "That's silly. Different doesn't mean bad." Before Daniel could answer, she marched forward, fearless, determined, sincere in the way only children can be. She stopped beside the girl and smiled brightly. "Hi," Mia chirped. "Can I sit here?" The girl blinked, startled, as if no one had spoken directly to her in a long time. "You want to sit here?" she whispered, confused. "Yes," Mia said simply. "You look nice." The girl looked down at her empty pant leg. "People don't sit with me," she murmured, "because of this." Mia tilted her head thoughtfully. "That's just a leg," she said in a matter-of-fact tone. "My daddy says hearts are more important." Across the bus, Daniel felt his throat tighten. The girl swallowed, blinking fast. "You don't have to pretend," she whispered. "You can sit somewhere else." But Mia shook her head firmly. "No, I want to sit with you." The girl looked up slowly. Her eyes were glassy, as if the words were too gentle to believe. Are you sure?" "Yes," Mia said with a smile. "I like you already." She slid into the seat beside her without hesitation, and for the first time that morning, the lonely girl wasn't invisible. The bus rumbled forward, but inside that second-row seat, something far more delicate was happening, something healing. Daniel watched from behind as his daughter, small and fearless, sat pressed against the lonely girl with the pinned pant leg. A warmth spread through him, a strange mix of pride and heartbreak. The girl, whose name Mia quickly learned was Lena, sat stiffly at first, unsure how to exist beside someone who wasn't uncomfortable around her. But Mia didn't give her space to sink back into the shadows. "What grade are you in?" Mia asked eagerly. "Fifth," Lena replied quietly. "Wow, you're older than me. You must know lots of things." Lena blinked, surprised by the admiration instead of pity. "Not really," she murmured. "I just know how to get by." Before Mia could ask what that meant, the bus jolted over a bump. Mia's backpack slid off her lap and fell to the floor, spilling colored pencils everywhere. Daniel stood halfway up, ready to help, but Lena moved first. She carefully leaned forward, balancing herself with practiced effort, collecting each pencil with gentle fingers. She placed them back inside the bag neatly. Mia smiled at her. "You're fast!" Lena shrugged, embarrassed. "I dropped my crutch a lot. I got used to picking things up quickly." Mia reached out and touched Lena's hand, a soft, grateful touch. "Thank you," she said. Lena froze. She looked at the little fingers resting against her own. Her breath trembled. Kindness always shocked those who rarely received it. She swallowed. You didn't have to say thank you. But I wanted to, Mia replied. The bus grew quieter around them. Even a few kids who had whispered earlier were now sneaking curious looks. Lena stared at Mia, her eyes shining. Why did you sit with me? She asked suddenly, voice cracking. You could have chosen anyone, any seat. Mia scrunched up her face, thinking, because you look sad. Lena blinked rapidly. Tears threatened to spill. Mia continued, and when someone looks sad, my daddy says you sit with them. That's how you help. Lena pressed her lips together, her chin trembling. No one else thinks that, she whispered. At school, they avoid me. They hide my things. They call me names. I try to ignore them, but it gets lonely. Mia shook her head hard. I won't avoid you. Daniel finally leaned forward. Mia's right, he said gently. You deserve friends, Lena. Good ones. Lena sniffed. I don't know how to be a friend anymore. You don't have to try, Mia said brightly. Just be you. I like you already. Lena's tears finally escaped. Not loud, messy sobs, quiet ones, grateful ones. At the next stop, Mia stood and held out her hand. Come on, she said confidently. Let's get off together. Lena hesitated only a second, then slipped her small hand into Mia's, warm, trusting. And in that single moment, something changed. A lonely girl no longer felt invisible. A habit of kindness passed from a father to a daughter and into another fragile heart. Together they stepped off the bus, two girls walking side by side.